Okay, this will be on there. All right. I do believe we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. What is up?
I am Ellie. This is my brother, Zachary. So this is going to be a very difficult stream.
Yeah.
This is extremely heavy subject matter, so I am demonetizing this stream. This is something that just came out January 17th. Did the next part come out, by the way, Zach? Did you look into that?
The fourth part's not out yet, but everything else is out. All the other parts are out.
Okay, so yeah, we are going to be discussing this very unfortunate thing that happened. Basically, this happened in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. These two men have been convicted of selling explicit videos and photos of their two adopted sons, which is horrible, absolutely deplorable. Probably the most disgusting thing that I have heard in ever in my lifetime, probably.
Yeah, it's top 2 or 3 for me too. It's if it's not the worst thing I've ever heard, it's one of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much worse than this, I don't think. It really, really, really doesn't.
So, we can't really read it all verbatim to you guys. I wonder what. Maybe I can mute it and just. Yeah, I'll play this video so you guys can kind of see it. They are a married couple. The two boys in question were special needs children. So it was state funded. They got state funding, not only for the adoption of the boys, getting state funding to help with the children, but also extra state funding because the boys were special needs.
Yep. So, yeah, I've read all 3 that they've released so far. When I was getting about halfway, I was at the mall today reading part 3, and it legitimately almost made me sick to my stomach when I started seeing the whole thing is disgusting, but when I started seeing how much these psychopaths leveraged the whole system and even the social strata for their own disgusting, horrific perversions.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because sorry, you can finish your thought.
I'm sorry. It's hard for me to even think about it. It's hard for me to think about.
So it's extremely triggering. I wanted to talk about it, as fast as I could, because first of all, mainstream media outlets are not talking about this. Thank you, Outlaw, for sharing this with us.
Yeah, thanks, Outlaw. Thank you, and also no thank you. We needed to know about. People need to know about this.
People need to know about this. They really do. It is terrible. Yeah, I think something that really gets me is how much they kind of piggybacked on people trying to be accepting of the LGBT community and the movement. They unabashedly just would guilt trip anyone who would be suspicious of their activity for a very long time. They promoted themselves as activists you know, going around town, going to pride parades, you know, taking pictures with people. Look, no hate, like just virtue signaling,
Love
like
is love.
yeah, like every single like stereotype of like, you know, trying to be a positive influence in the LGBT movement, they used that to their advantage, and they paraded the very same boys they were abusing in front of everyone and just posting about it on social media.
Yeah, and what I found on a different site, I had to dig and dig and dig and dig for this, but apparently this whole thing that has been turned into an investigation, and that's a whole mess we'll talk about, but apparently there are 13 people now that are implicated as a result of this, and two of them were workers for Disney World in Florida.
Yeah.
There are 13 people that are involved. At least 13 people. There's an entire ring potentially of people that this is involved with. There are two other people in the Atlanta area that were directly involved. But yeah, this could be the basis of an entire web. Let me start from the beginning.
Yeah.
And explain the story as I understand it. I'll try to recollect it as best I can, and obviously I'm gonna refrain from saying any overt details
Because of the algorithm and
yeah. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed, like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Because if this kind of content is the type of thing that could make the channel get taken down potentially anyway. I mean,
this needs to be shared. I figured it was worth risking my own channel to be able to share the story, because people don't talk about this stuff, and this needs to be talked about. This is a case that needs attention.
Yeah. So there's this man. His name, and I hate his name because my name is Zachary, spelled the same way and everything. His name is Zachary Zulak, and his husband William.
So we'll just call them Zulak and William.
Yeah. So Zulak is
that's the one on the left, I think.
The
in the picture,
yes,
in the main picture.
Yes.
And then William's
the right is William.
Okay.
The blonde is William, I think. So the William is a bank teller, and he's a branch operator for a local SunTrust bank. The other Zulak he just has some kind of like government job with. Oh, is my sound not coming through? Can you guys hear me?
Hello? Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear Zach? Okay. Let us know.
Okay. Well, I'll keep talking. If you can't hear me, I'll start over. These two met and got married, and within a couple of years of them getting married, they were talking about how they want to have children, how badly they want to have children. I'm really low.
You can hear him just fine? Okay.
Okay. How they want to have children, They were posturing all around, talking about how they wanted to have children and they want to have a family and all this stuff. And so I'm going to skip around a bit. Yeah. I'm going to tell it chronologically rather than in the order of the investigation. They went to a local adoption center that was run by a church, and the adoption center was one for special needs kids, and not just special needs kids that have been rejected through the other systems and are less likely for parents to want to take them in. And so the boys that they adopted are byproducts of heroin, and they have special needs issues as a result of heroin during the pregnancy. And you can look at some of the chats and Instagram messages, Facebook messages, all those things from before it happened. And Zulak was constantly telling people, oh, I hate how children are treated in these systems. They're always abused, and they're always treated so poorly. We want to bring them to a healthy family where we'll discipline them when they need it, but we'll also treat them as they should, and give them love and care and raise them in a home. And it's a perfect example of us, like, it would be a great way for us to show that, you know, we as the LGBT, we can adopt children and be healthy families. And so they paraded it all over social media, all over the place. And sure enough, they adopt these kids, and things start getting a little bit suspicious later, because there's an incident that occurs where some people hit. I hope I'm remembering this correctly. Where some people hit their mailbox, and the police get called, and Zulak, from what I understand, didn't want the police to go into the house. Or actually, let me take a step back. I forgot something. After they adopted these boys, so they lived in a pretty small place, but after they adopted these boys, within record time, literally record time, they built a mansion that was worth around $1 million.
Yeah. This mansion was really suspicious. It had specifically built like rooms that were like that you got through with like secret doors.
I haven't gotten there yet. I was getting there, but yeah. So they had this mansion built really quickly. Who knows where the money came from? Zulak is some kind of like government worker, or is in some kind of equity thing. No one exactly knows what he does. It's kind of this weird sort of indistinct job. And then the other guy's a bank teller who makes like $50K a year. But they found that Zulak was making, I think, how much was it? Was it $7,500 a week or something? Was that what, or like 30K? It was like 30K a month that he was making. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this $1 million house is built, and they buy. And there's an incident where some people hit the mailbox in the driveway, and the police come by, and the police are, they don't let the police come into the house. And then something comes on. He types on Facebook something about, "Oh, I'm so glad that the boys weren't outside when this happened. I'm so glad that they were indoors." And so there were some suspicions being raised. Well, what ended up happening is, but as you can read in the article, and I have to be very vague about this, they had adopted both the boys from the foster system. They were both getting $2,000 a month in care and assistance from DFACS.
He self-reported 30K a month, apparently.
Yeah, and so they both got $2,000 a month from DFACS. So they're being funded by the state to take these kids in. And what they'd done is they started putting them through brutal punishments. Where, like, for example, one of the relatives that kind of was a whistleblower on all this said that at one point they had one of the boys stand in the corner for 8 hours straight for doing something wrong, and another one they were slapping the boy in the face over and over and over and over again. Well, it turned out that a guy gave a tip to the FBI or ICAC or something like that, and the tip was that there was illicit acts with children going on in that house. And through some sleuthing and detective work, they went into and some warrants. They got access to Snapchat and some other accounts, and found that the two men had been selling the boys, not just pictures of them doing things to them violently and graphically, but also had been selling them to other people in the community. They found a Twitter account that that one of them was using that was just all contacts.
I'm on the Snapchat right now, the Snapchat account.
I say funny, but this isn't funny as in funny. It's just funny as in weird. And the Twitter account they were using, they were following all these potential, like, soliciting contacts, and then Joe Biden. So there you go. Take that as you will. But
yeah, and they met up. Didn't they meet up with someone in Chicago named like Gay Bottom, like who they met on Twitter?
Yeah. Well,
they met with him in real life. Did they meet with him in real life?
No. I was mistaken about that. That Bottom was his account that he was using to contact other people.
I see.
But they did meet up with people in other cities all over the place.
Okay, so yeah, they would meet up with people in real life with the boys.
Yep, and so here's another thing for some of you more rabbit hole types out there.
Oh yeah.
They went to a restaurant in Gulf Shore, Alabama, a pizza restaurant,
Yeah.
a pizza shop, and in the menu, on the menu literally says children left unsupervised will be sold as slaves.
Yeah, I
And
haven't got there yet in the story, but
yeah, but so Zulok put that on social media, circled it in rainbow colors, and
yeah,
put
you guys will see it.
pizza. So, just I don't know. I'm not saying, I'm just saying,
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if they really are just like so just convinced that they won't get caught, that I personally have had experience with fans of the playground in my life, and he was extremely just brash and just didn't care because he thought he would never get caught. That's how these people are. They're such horrible, psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic, evil people that they will do whatever they want to do with no regard for even covering their own tracks. They just throw it out there, obviously. And because of the LGBT movement and how loud the LGBT movement has become, they were able to literally parade the children they were abusing around everyone while waving their whole flag, right? The flag that has the rainbow and the Ukraine colors in it. Just like all they had to do was say the right things and do the right virtue signaling, and this just happened. People didn't question it because they were saying the right things, because they were going through the narrative. And it really it pisses me off for so many reasons, obviously, but people will just get on you for saying the wrong thing so quickly these days. But this is a perfect example of how shallow that mindset is, because these guys know exactly what to say. They said all the right things. They said, we stand with Ukraine. They said, we believe in transgender rights. They might not even believe that, right? But they said the right things, and it was able to hide all of their horrible debauchery.
At the same time, what's so crazy to me is they left so much obvious stuff out in the open in retrospect. Like, for example, one of the things that Zulok posted on one of his social media accounts is a picture of a turtle with like the body, not the shell. The shell was white, but the turtle was LGBT, was like colored, and it was like hiding away. And it said, "It's okay if you're not ready to come out yet."
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so, like, when you put that in context of what this guy does, it's like saying, because it was correlated directly to map awareness, if you know what map is.
Oh yeah, maps. I have some videos on maps too, which I can share with you guys. But maps stands for minor attracted persons, and yes, they've been trying to integrate themselves into the LGBTQ movement for a very long time. And people are just the ones that are blind to the narrative. They're just like, no, that'll never happen. Okay, gay people aren't groomers. No, but the groomers are hiding it with the gays. They're hiding behind the LGBT movement. Gays are not groomers, but the groomers and the horrible, despicable wastes of human flesh are hiding behind it, because everyone says, hey, we're gay and we're happy to be gay. That's fine. But they are completely disregarding the very real dangers that this narrative is creating. If you just say everything's fine, don't worry about it, you can't stereotype people or whatever. Like, you cannot question these people at all, or you're insulting, or you're a homophobe. Guess what they did? They called people homophobes who were trying to investigate this. They called them bigots. Okay, so they're using those tactics. So how is anybody better than that, right?
Yep. They constantly would pull the victim card. Even when they got arrested, the relatives they talked to that did this report with them, they told them, please don't forget about us. We just need someone who's going to not hate us and just listen to our story. No one understands. No one
understands us. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And so this thing that she's scrolling through right now is one of the people that was correlated with them. And that's the thing. When you look into Zulok, he has a crazy history anyway. He already had a case basically dropped where he...
would Chipper go brrr?
where he basically he intruded upon a 14-year-old, and the case got dropped when it was all but proven that he did it, and now everyone on the case has retired. And so now they're having trouble even getting information on the fact that he did it. It was back in, like, I think 2010 when he did it. And so then there's this other guy that was involved with them that was, I guess, either soliciting or selling pictures, or I'm not exactly sure what his role in was. But here, this guy is a straight up criminal. He
was working at a grocery store or something, and
stealing
at the same time.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. Ellie and I know, because of things that have happened regarding her ex that she's talked about, that these types of people like to do things like pay with gift cards. And what this guy was doing was he had manager access somehow, and he was buying and then writing off gift cards at Kroger, at the grocery store.
Yep, see?
And this guy was an accomplice with them somehow. So I'm convinced, when you look at how Zulok's money just went through the roof, how they just built a house. Oh, and by the way, when they got the tip and they came in and they busted in the door, got him in the night, came in the doors and got the kids, they found that there were secret rooms behind bookcases, like a la Metal Gear Solid Psycho Mantis. Like, literally whole rooms.
You know what it reminded me of when I first heard about that, when you told me and then I read about it? It reminded me of The Devil in White City. The Devil in White City. And I don't know if you guys know about this. I'd probably do a video on it one day. But anyway, long story short is that this freak guy who was killing people in a hotel, he had people come in and build special kinds of rooms for him that, you know, no one wanted to question it because he had so much money, right? He had so much money. I guess he's just a weird rich guy. He just wants us to build these weird gas chambers inside of hotel rooms. Okay.
Yeah, they went to Chicago a lot too, didn't they? They took trips to Chicago. Yeah, isn't that?
And my ex is from Chicago.
Yep.
By the way.
So this whole thing, this Luis Armando Vizcarra Sanchez, the guy that was involved, he's like your typical like internet, like, I'm not gonna say all because we don't know, but like he's the type, right? Anime profile picture, you know, like you know, really into that type of culture. And I like Japanese things. I like Japanese video games. I like some anime every now and then. But he was one of those guys that was like really into, you know, the anime culture and anime profile. You guys know what I'm talking about. He was one of those types. And so the thing is, all of what blows my mind about this, it irritates me, is that all these people involved in this fit all of the freaking profiles of exactly how you think of children in the playground being.
Right, exactly. But they hid behind the homophobe card. That is literally the only reason why they were able to get away with this shit all the time, is because they hid behind the narrative that is so fucking strong. The mob mentality, the cancel culture. They hid behind that. Look at this guy. He literally calls himself an activist. I'm an activist. I'm married to my amazing husband. Love is love, guys. Love is love. That's what the maps say.
But then there was a picture that he posted on social media right after they adopted the kids of himself topless. He put on the left-hand side was like him talking about his kids, and the right side was a picture of him topless. Like, how does that not raise suspicion immediately?
Thanks, Jay.
How does that not raise suspicion immediately? It's infuriating.
Yep, I can only imagine how many people, even their families, were suspicious of the whole thing. But no, it's, you just hate us because we're gay. You hate us because we're gay. You're just homophobic bigots.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of the arguments was they're just targeting our house because we're gay, and they were an easy target to take our house because the house got seized as a result of the investigation. And so they started, the Zulok started claiming that we're just easy targets because we're gay, and they're seizing our house because they can justify doing that because it's easy to put targets on our backs as gay people. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, right.
It's infuriating.
It is. This is disgusting, and it's horrible.
But the straight white man is the monster, right?
Yeah, I know.
Monsters, right? We're the monsters. When all I try to do is point things like this out. Like that's what I do. I work so hard outside of my job, you know, to like most of my time, and Ellie can vouch for this, is like reading about things and learning about things and trying to research stuff and find out more things about what's going on in society. I do it all the time because I want society to be better. I'm not a monster. But like these people would like if this guy, this activist, got on social media and was like, "You're a bigot, you're a transphobe, you're a blah 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 blah," I would get shut down by a sicko like this because of the leftist narratives going on right now.
Yeah,
It's infuriating.
Yeah, unbelievable. And the leftists and the LGBT, they all need to see this. They all need to know about this story. But guess what? It's being swept under the rug by mainstream media. Mainstream media is not going to talk about this because this messes up the narrative real bad. Real bad.
Yeah, it's because it's literally every trope that people say to look out for.
Yep, it's literally
every single one.
Yeah. These men, they got married. They are gay men who adopted two special needs boys, literally RAPED them, and sold their bodies for money and hurt them all the time. Those kids are messed up, man. They were already in the foster care system because their mother was a drug addict, right? They were already left behind. They were looking for a child that was special needs like that, so they couldn't fight back, you guys.
Yeah. And this rabbit hole goes even deeper. Jay made me think about something else. He said, Jay Lucky 777 says, the person should have allowed the foster adoption. They should have done a better background check. They bragged about how easy the background check was and how easy it was for them to get the kids. And then what happened is within the time of them getting the boys and then them getting caught, they tried to go back to the original foster home, but it had been shut down because they were trying to get a girl to add to their family. But thank whatever entity there might be that place shut down, because they would have gotten a girl as well. I'm not saying that it's worse than a girl.
Yeah, it's not worse or better, but the fact is that they wanted to get another child involved.
And they passed, and despite the fact that this guy had a child, potential charge was dropped, but he passed a background check with flying colors immediately within
with impunity
split amount of time. Yeah, with impunity.
And I feel so bad for all of the straight couples that want to adopt a child that have to go through rigorous testing, background checks, waiting for months or years, sometimes can't make enough money to do it either. For a long time I thought, maybe I want to adopt a child, and I still might one day, and I kind of looked into it, and it is really hard. But it was easy for them because they pulled the gay card.
They breezed right through it.
Nice. Not only LGBT people, you need to be pissed off at this. You guys need to throw this out there. You need to share this everywhere. You need to be pissed. You need to speak up. We need LGBT people to speak up right now about this. This cannot slide. You need to be furious because of this, it is going to be harder than ever for you.
But you know what? But the worst part is that this has been swept under the rug. There were a few articles in local news and a couple of small major news sources, but they barely spoke about. Oh, this is just a charge that's being happening. They're not getting bail. That was it. But what's happened since then is that this has uncovered an entire web of people, and this is being ignored. This is being ignored, and this is probably one of the most important stories that has come out of the United States in a long time, because there's a very real chance that this has uncovered an entire web of people, but it's being ignored. It's being ignored. I get this whole Steven Crowder thing. I get it. It's important, but all these conservatives, all these Republicans, they need to be talking about this.
But they don't want to get taken down, man. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support. I'm really upset. I'm honestly putting my neck out here for this. I'm a small channel. YouTube probably wouldn't think twice before taking me down, and we'll see if this video stays up. I mean, if it doesn't, I'll record another one and I'll put it on Rumble or something. But I mean, it needs to be talked about. It just does.
Yeah, and it's sickening to me that we can't even use the verbiage to accurately describe what's
going on, because big tech won't let us, and that is why the Crowder thing is a big deal right now. And so I get that, but this is happening.
Yeah, and it's clearly something all the way down the southeast, because these guys were traveling around, and they went to Florida, and there have been two people that worked at Disney that are implicated in this too.
Yeah, and that hurts me, man, because I love Disney. I grew up in Florida, actually, and I worked at Disney World. And I love children, you know, I always have. I've always worked with children. I don't know if you guys know this about me. My day job is working at theme parks. So protecting children has always been such an important thing for me, which is why it broke me so much when I found out that someone I had been with for 3 years was a fan of the playground, and he was exactly like this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If he
I
was,
met him, you know,
he was just like this. And I do know Gays Against Groomers. I follow them on Twitter, and I actually linked them this. I don't know if they responded though.
Yeah, it's crazy that her ex, and I know this is hard to talk about for Ellie sometimes, so I'm not going to go too much into detail. But,
I'm stronger. I'm stronger than I ever was before. You know, I'm okay. But this is the profile's the same.
Yeah, he
except he's not gay.
Yeah, he's not gay, but he did buy a bunch of gift cards at one point, and he did have an anime profile picture everywhere he went, and he was like, he had this like sickly charm about him that was like, it was like this like almost arrogant, condescending, no one understands me, but I'm still like,
yeah, even after he was caught, he pulled the "oh, no one understands me" card, and he would gaslight me all the time, just like these people did, except instead of gaslighting, "oh, you hate me because I'm gay," it was other things. You can see on my YouTube shorts, I put one of the conversations, but
and I think that the absolute audacity of these terrible people, if you look, you'll see it as it goes on. They were on social media talking all over the place about how children are treated poorly in the foster care system, and how we're gonna make a better home, and LGBTQ people are always discriminated against and think we're gonna be bad parents, and like, but we're getting them out of a you know what abuse situation most of the time, and like it's just like it just makes you want to punch a wall. Like it really does, considering how much hatred and vitriol like straight white men get in this country.
Yeah.
And so many of us are the ones fighting this. But we're the ones that get the hate, and it makes me so angry. I mean, it makes me so mad. And I'm not an angry person. Ellie can tell you. I'm usually like, I get heated. I get, you know, and I get not emotional, but I get enthusiastic in my arguments and things, passionate. But I'm not an angry person. This makes me actively angry. It makes me angry, and I am.
Yeah, because look, they're just out in public, you know, waving the flag, you know, trans rights, whatever, Black Lives Matter, everything. They just check all the boxes, right? Oh, whatever virtue signal we can do, anything to keep the narrative alive, so I can continue to be a freak.
Yep. I read a lot of it last night, and then I read the third part today. And when I was reading the third part, which went in detail about how much like social engineering they'd done.
Where did they get the money to travel around? Oh, by selling their children, of course.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, I mean,
they sold their children.
Yeah, that's.
They had a lot of money. They had $1 million home in Atlanta that they had custom built in record time.
Eating pizza, here it goes.
Oh yeah,
eating pizza.
All you Pizzagate people, y'all know they literally did this. This was at a pizza restaurant that they went with the kids that they were abusing. Okay. They made it rainbow and they circled it.
Why would you circle that?
Oh, because they don't care. They circled it because they don't care. And they say we'll never be caught.
Yeah, that is enough in and of itself. Like that you would circle that with the rainbow colors. Like it's just like those James Alefantis pictures. Like I'm sure some of you know, or like the what was it? Was it Jodie Foster? Who was it today? Not Jodie Foster.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, the picture she just got caught with. Like, why would you so egregiously put those things out in the open unless you just think you have absolute impunity to the type of scrutiny that would put you under?
Yeah, I see this, and I just think it's like just a slap in the face to people who really looked into Pizzagate. Like, why else would they do this? You know, waiting for hashtag pizza.
I think that phrase will get you hit on here. I think.
Really?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I wonder why, big tech. Like, why else would they do this unless they're just literally trying to, like, say, we know that you guys know, but there's nothing you can do about it, homophobe.
Look, another picture. Yep. Like, it's just... I can't rationalize it, but I'm glad that I can't rationalize it because I'm not sick. You know what I mean? Like, the only way you could even try to rationalize something like this is if you're just sick. If you just have to be sick to
And they're
be able to
trying.
rationalize it.
First, it was the "you're a homophobe" card, and now it's the "you don't understand me" card. Nope. No, we don't understand you. And I don't know. I can only think of one really good solution, guys. I don't know.
Yep. There is only one solution to this. Somebody mentioned they got 9 life sentences. You know, that's not enough. I'm. If any of you know who Lisa McPherson is, I think that you know, she was unwrongly unalived by the Church of Scientology, but I think that they should pull that on these horrible, despicable human beings.
Yep. Stick them in a room and leave them there.
Leave 'em.
No food, no water. Until it's time to put them under.
And anybody who disagrees is sus. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna pull a no true Scotsman fallacy on that, and I don't even care. If you disagree with me on that, there's something wrong with you. These people do not deserve to exist.
Yep. Unless you want them to use more state funding for, you know, food and water.
They haven't been found guilty yet. Really?
The trial hasn't started.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think I did read that. The trial hasn't happened yet. That's right.
Well, stay tuned, everybody. Please subscribe, like this video, share it if you can. Like,
yeah, we'll be following up on this.
We're gonna be keeping this in our minds because we can't forget about it. Like this is personal for me at this point because of my history with Fan of the Playground for 3 years. So you know, I have always, here you go, Sophie. I've always cared deeply about the safety of children, and that will never change. Now as an adult, now that I know how a lot of like these systems work because I directly was affected by them, I will always stand up for truth, and I will always stand against this narrative that is trying to hide horrible, evil people like this. And yes, it hurts because, you know, I've been to pride parades before. You know, I've proudly, you know, dated men and women. I've wanted to be inclusive, but there is a point where your inclusivity becomes a
danger.
Yes, that's not the word I'm looking for. It becomes a liability.
Yep, liability. Yep, for sure.
Because anyone who says, oh, you're just doing the slippery slope argument, this isn't going to actually lead to people hurting children in the gay community. Really?
Really? Well, here's proof.
Well, here you go.
Next time somebody pulls that argument, show me where somebody like this is targeting children. I'm just going to be like, here it is. You want it. Here it is. Because you can't deny this. This cannot be denied. This cannot be argued. Yes, you could say not all gay people, of course. Not all gay people are like this. But at this point,
like Gays Against Groomers, that is an amazing organization, and I hope that they pick this up and share it. And I hope all content creators that are big can share this with their audience. It needs to be talked about. It needs to not just be talked about on the right side, though. It needs to be shared with the left, because the left are the ones that are brainwashed here. But there are so many groomers and freaks hiding in the left that they don't want people to know about this. Yeah,
and it's disgusting to think about the fact that I'm scared of talking about this with leftists because I might get pushback from it.
Yeah, they're going to call you exactly what these guys would have called you, right? That's what they don't understand. That's what these people who are trying to keep, like, the narrative and not ask questions, that's what they don't understand. They're literally using these phrases, these attacks on people who are trying to question the narrative. They're using the same tactics that these kind of people are. Or these people are using their tactics. Either one. Either way you want to slice and dice it, that is what's happening. So it needs to stop.
Yep.
Because if you are so insulted and scared and defensive about someone talking about grooming in the gay community, maybe you have something to hide.
Yep.
Maybe you're projecting a little bit, because as someone in the LGBT community, I never once said, yeah, of course, I know there are RAPEs of every single kind, and I know there are some in the LGBT community too, and we need to combat however we can. I don't have a problem saying that. So why would you?
Wasn't there something, I can't remember where I read it on. I think it was about these people where one of the guys was trying to argue against the term groomer being used. Wasn't that? I can't remember. I could have swore that one of these guys made some post somewhere or something saying that the term groomer was like abusive or like shouldn't be used. I could have. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly.
My ex, the fan of the playground, used Snapchat for everything. Used Snapchat for all the girls that he messed with too, to exploit young women, to give them money for pictures of them while they were underage. Used Snapchat for that. Fun. And people were watching this case for a long time, but you know how the system works, chat? Doesn't matter how much you know in your heart that something is wrong. Nothing happens unless you get a warrant. And guess what? It's really freaking hard to get a warrant.
Yep, we know that for sure. We know that ourselves.
It's harder than you might think to get a warrant about abuse on children.
Yeah, I am. I'm beside myself over this. Like, and every time I stop thinking about it since I read it, but then when I come back to thinking about it again, I get this feeling of like sickness in my stomach.
Sorry. Can you post part 3 in the chat so I can bring it up here, please?
Yeah.
Don't stop reporting on this stuff. I won't. I'm not going to. Like I said, my channel is all over the place now. You know, this channel started, when I first started it, it was just a gaming channel, and I still want to do more gaming stuff, but I want to focus my live streams and my shorts particular probably on news, because I think news is important to talk about, and especially since there's this mainstream narrative that ignores news like this. I think it's important for small creators to share things that are kind of swept under the rug. I'm a small creator. You know, I can only share what I know with my small audience. So I hope that this is shared by people with bigger audiences, and they're not afraid to stick their neck out with big tech and share this too. But I'm sticking my neck out here to do this because I could get my channel taken down just for if YouTube decides like this is for minor safety. I've had things talking about maps, trying to inform people about maps. I've had my videos taken down on TikTok, and Instagram for child safety.
Yeah, that's right. They call it child safety.
Yeah.
Videos calling out maps got taken down for child safety.
Imagine. That's the world we live in, chat.
You know, I'm looking forward to part 4, because part 4 is supposedly about what they're experiencing right now, that they're being held in jail. I can't wait to read that. Maybe there will be a happy ending of some kind.
Those boys are screwed up, man.
Yeah.
Those boys are screwed up forever. They'll never be the same. I can only hope, like, being an optimist is that they have enough therapy to live the rest of their life naturally.
I think that they should be compensated for and protected by the state the rest of their lives, because ultimately this is a failure on the state. Because the state should have done enough diligence to make sure these kids did not end up in the hands of a dude who had a child you-know-what case from 15 years ago that got swept under the rug. Like, that should... But see, then you start questioning who made that call and why, and how did he know this person? You know, it starts making you wonder, how did he get through the system so fast? You know, like, I'm telling you, there's more to this story, and I would not be surprised if we find out some information from this that goes a little even deeper than we are. Like I said, it's already implicated 13 people potentially, and if you look on the guy's Twitter, if you look at the people he's following, the only thing other than Joe Biden that he's following are all solicitation accounts for men, all of them, and that's how he communicated with a lot of the people he met up with. So all those people on his Twitter list should be investigated now. Every single one of them. You can make a list. I can list every single screen name. They need to be under FBI investigation right now.
Yep. Definitely. I don't really know what comes next after this, but there needs to be change. This needs to be the turning point. This needs to be where people need to stop just accepting things out of being afraid of bigotry, out of fear of bigotry. No.
What's it going to take? What's it going to take? What are people like? What are we going to have to do to show that these people just need to go crawl in a hole and let themselves rot? Like, what is it going to take? What is going to have to happen? Like, this can't continue. We are endangering the future. We are endangering our children. We are disincentivizing people from having children. I want a kid, but do I want to put my kid into a world like this? Right. No. Of course not. Why would I want to bring a child into a world where they could get you-know-whatted by somebody like this, and then the charges get dropped? But because. No matter what I try to do. And then I try to take care of the situation myself, take it in my own hands, and I go to jail for it. Why would I want to bring a kid in that world?
And, people are so distracted by the stupidest dumb shit. I make a TERF joke on Twitter, and I'm a horrible person. People DMing my close friends and family about how I'm questionable and that I lack empathy, and they're so disappointed in me, and that I'm a bigot, and that I'm a homophobe because I make a joke about wanting to play a Harry Potter game. That's where we're at. When you treat me like that, you are enabling people like this.
Because I guarantee you, Zulok would have jumped right on that bandwagon.
Oh yeah,
she's a TERF.
She's such a TERF. Unfollow Ellie in Videoland. Unfollow her. I don't know when she changed. She changed, guys. She's not with us anymore.
And then Zulok gets 50 likes because he made some insult at Ellie because theoretically, of course, made some insult that everybody thought was funny. But then look, this person's really an activist and fighting for the real thing.
Oh, they're an activist and they're a father. Oh my God, they're gay fathers and they have 2 boys and they're so cute and they went to Chicago together and they went to a Pride festival together. Oh my God, it's so cute.
Right.
They're Black Lives Matter activists. Oh my God. That's all it takes. You guys are sheep. You guys are literally just pieces, just pawns, man. These people don't care about your activism. They don't care about your narratives, really. They're going to use them and abuse you to abuse children.
Yep.
And you're letting it happen.
In your ranks, and you're attacking the people who are trying to point it out.
Yep, and you're attacking people like me because I'm trying to call out the horrible, hypocritical, really just horrible things that are going on within the community.
And if you don't like the fact that people are targeting your group, then you need to stop being so freaking inclusive.
Yeah, stand up. Stand for something. Stop sitting on the fence. Stop being lukewarm about anything. Stand up for something for once in your life. And not fake stand up for things. Not keyboard warrior stand up for things. LGBT, trans lives matter, Black lives matter. Not like that. No, stand up against child abuse.
Yep, because your attitude,
and learn.
The leftist, not you, audience, leftists that might see this, your attitude is what's letting this happen. Look on TED Talk. There was literally a TED Talk rationalizing why we should normalize children of the playground. Not children, fans of the playground. Sorry, fans of the playground. Normalizing this stuff. There was a Salon.com column that got taken down where it literally described what it was like for a fan of the playground to go into a boy's bathroom and see a boy urinating and take it through his thought process on how aroused he was.
Yep.
There was an entire column on that.
Yep.
These things are real, and your community is harboring it. And it's not bigotry to point that out. Look at every single person involved in this freaking case. Every single one. They fit the exact profile.
Of that things that you are supporting. Yes, exactly. And it's not that the things that you care about don't matter. It's not that Black lives don't matter. It's not that, you don't really care about trans people and want them to get the help they need. That's not really it. The problem is that freaks are hiding behind your activism. So by proxy, you are enabling this, if you like it or not. And until you stand up against it, it's going to keep happening. And don't shoot the messenger. I'm not a bigot. I love and I have empathy. I have a heart. And that's why I'm being brave enough to speak up against this, and you weren't.
What we're talking about is bigger than your stupid inclusiveness movement. Inclusivity. It's bigger than that. It's more important than you feeling like you fit in. We're talking about children being abused because they're hiding behind the narratives that you're creating. So yes, you need to accept scrutiny. And it's not bigotry for people to say, hey, all these sickos just tend to be in this like little set of inclusive people. Yes, and of course you got the whole Catholic Church thing too, and I've spoken on that before, and I know that there's similar things going on there.
Yes, and of course
that inside and out. That's been covered.
That's the difference here, is that the media covers those things. The media will cover all the horrible assaults that happen from straight white men. Yes, those are problems. Yes, that shouldn't happen. And those people should be held accountable too. Those people are also dirtbags. That's the difference here, is that you guys don't see them all equally as dirtbags. They're all equally dirtbags. It doesn't matter what gender they are. It doesn't matter what race they are.
Yep. And the media is selectively targeting the things that they talk about with this.
Yeah.
The people on the
so
left
it looks
are being
disproportionate.
by the media. Yes, it's disproportionate coverage. The movie Spotlight was incredible, and it was amazing. The whole thing, the journalism that happened, that was amazing, and it's laudable, and it needs to continue. And the Catholic Church needs to have a magnifying glass on it for the foreseeable future. Period. But that does not mean that it justifies the media ignoring and trying to do some kind of equivalency between the LGBT and the left. There needs to be the same degree of scrutiny on all this inclusivity, because this is where those people are hiding.
Yep. And they will jump on the bandwagon behind your activism, and they'll like your posts, and they'll say, you go, queen. You get her. You get that bigot. Yes, it's her fault. Focus on Ellie in Videoland talking about J.K. Rowling. Focus on that. Focus on big tech. I'm getting flashbacks of Ghislaine Maxwell's trial here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I'm so heated about this. I need to cool off.
Yeah, this picture here is when because there was a hit and run on their mailbox, and the kids hit their mailbox and ran away, and so the cops came and they freaked the hell out because they're like, oh God, the cops are here, and they said, thank God that the boys weren't playing outside at the time. You know, people got so upset, people get so upset about, the God's name in vain or whatever, right? Well, they literally, like, they'll do anything. They'll talk about God, they'll talk about every activist movement, as long as they seem virtuous, right? That's the theme here. They want to seem like they have the moral high ground of anything, of everything, right? Project. So no one is suspicious, and anyone who is suspicious, gaslight.
Deny, discredit.
Deny.
Call them crazy.
Conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Right-winger. TERF.
It's like their ad hominems hold water for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Why have we divulged? Why is our society degraded into the point to where you can just throw an ad hominem at someone and the argument is more valid than the logic? The ad hominem is more valid than the logic.
Or the facts, or the science. Why?
Why? What happened? Where did this start? How did we lose the thread to the point to where clear logic could just be beaten by a gotcha? By a ad hominem.
Gotcha, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine.
Right? I didn't mean. Yeah,
this person, and look, he said, my hashtag partner in crime. They were just obvious about it on their social medias. They just bragged about it on their social medias too. And no one cared because everyone thought, oh my God, a gay family. Oh my God, it's so cute.
Marginalized.
Yeah, they're so marginalized. Let me just fantasize about how cute the whole thing is. Let me just express this this idealistic fantasy of this gay couple in my head, and they'll play right into it. Oh, look how cute they are. These men abused their own adopted boys. These men chose boys with special needs so they couldn't fight back.
They could take care of them better than the system is. That's the argument they made. That's the
Literally.
actual argument.
Yeah, we're not trying to like blow up or be like we're not trying to exaggerate the story here. We're literally telling you that they used every trope they could.
Yep, they did.
When did society stop protecting children? I don't know. Probably, I mean, it's been a decline for a long time. There's a lot of moments in history that kind of got us here. But it's definitely accelerated in the past 5 years, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Look, he likes All God's Children Incorporated, Special Needs Adoption Agency. Oh,
that's
boy.
Where he adopted from. That's the place he adopted from.
They passed all their background checks with flying colors because they're so marginalized.
Yeah, never mind his R-word charge that got dropped. Never mind that the child R charge. Never mind that it's flying colors. Nothing to see here. Move along. These are not the droids you're looking for. You know, like how? This is a failure of the state.
Yeah.
I'm not for big government, but I am for doing every bit of due diligence. Every bit of due diligence on people that are looking to adopt children. Go as deep as you need, as far as you need, for as long as you need to.
Yep.
Because this is a failure of the state.
And they preyed on the children's vulnerability. Yep.
Raised by heroin addicts.
Yep.
It's just sick.
3 years ago, our lives officially changed and we became one family. And they got really rich after that too.
Yep.
After they started selling their poor boys. And it hurts, man.
Me too. It hurts me too.
It hurts as someone who actually wants to have children. Someone who actually like used to, you know, the people that fought for gay rights, the Stonewall gays, you guys don't understand. Like, people that are these activists these days, they just don't get it. You just don't get it. And if this doesn't make you get it, maybe there's something wrong.
Yeah, it hurts me too on a level, considering how much we fought for what happened with you, and how.
Of course, yeah. I was personally abused by a fan of the playground. Yeah, he wasn't, a gay dad, but he messed around with little girls behind my back for 3 years. With minors, would pay them money so they would give him videos and pictures of them while they were still teenagers.
Yeah, and we fought so hard. And it's like so many of these problems are byproducts of failures of the state. Your ex should be in prison right now, but it's a failure of the state. These guys should have never gotten to take a kid, but it was a failure of the state. The state just failed and failed and failed and failed.
Yep, so this has been going on since November 7th, 2018. That's how long these boys have been abused by them. And they just got arrested now. And before that, this guy had already had an RAPE charge on him. Yep. But somehow he still passed background checks. Tell me how. Because he pulled the gate card, of course.
Or he has people...
Or he has people in the top, or he, paid his way in. Hard to say. Hard to say. And this isn't too far from where we live, is it, Zach?
Nope. I know Loganville.
So this is also very personal for us because, we're not going to tell exactly where we live, but we live pretty close to this. So there's a very good chance that we could have passed these people.
Yep.
And I could have been fooled too. And that's also what hurts. And if you're listening to this and you're insulted, I want you to think of how upset you would be if you just walked by these people at a grocery store and thought, oh, what a nice family. Look how progressive that is. Because that's how they did it, right? It's shallow. They're good at putting on a face. That everything was so nice. at the grocery store, at Disney World, in Chicago, at the Bean, taking pictures, all smiles, all love.
On the beach in Alabama.
Love is love.
At the pizza restaurant.
At the pizza place. And any normal good person would say that's really sweet. Right? It's
that's how they win.
And that's how they win.
How nice people are, yep.
Yep. And it's not fair that nice people like you, me, my brother, chat. It's not fair that we all are getting fooled by this. And it's not fair that our empathy has to be taken advantage of. And no, and I'm not going to say now that all gay people are groomers. I'm not going to, because, it's not because they're gay. That's the thing. That they're piggybacking on that. They're relying on that. And if you are in anywhere in your head trying to justify it because you feel like they're marginalized, that's the problem. And you need to re-educate yourself.
Yeah, the issue here is that these groomers and P3DOs are hiding in the marginalized communities as if they're part of it. And that's what I'm trying to make that's what I'm trying to make perfectly clear here.
Yeah.
That's why it always ends up seeming to be someone who's got some weird fetish or is gay or whatever, because these people are hiding there. They're hiding in that community.
Yep.
Like the pan people or whatever they call them,
And like I said, there are plenty of straight people that are RAPEers, okay? There are plenty of straight people that do that too. But the difference is, I'll say it one more time, is that the media covers that.
Yep.
The media doesn't cover these because this goes against the message. This goes against the narrative.
Yep. If there's even suspicions of a straight white dude doing something like this, the media's all over it. All over it. But in this has been just almost completely ignored.
Yep.
When this, like I said earlier, this should be one of the biggest stories, biggest cases in the United States.
And if someone you don't like talks about it, you can't discredit that either. Like, for example, when Ketanji Brown Jackson was getting lambasted by, who was it? Ted Cruz?
Ted Cruz.
People completely took away his argument because Ted Cruz is a piece of crap. I'm not arguing that Ted Cruz isn't a piece of crap, but you cannot say that just because someone you don't like is delivering the message that you should throw away the message they're trying to say. Yeah, so if you hear this, what? Sorry?
That's a tu quoque fallacy when you attack the person instead of the argument.
Right. So, like, if you hear this story, if you don't hear it from me, if you hear it from, let's say, Matt Walsh. Lots of people hate Matt Walsh. Just because he's the one that is reporting it, even if you don't like me. If you don't like me because you think I'm a TERF because I want to play the Hogwarts game, just because you don't like me doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to this.
Only a bigot would talk like this, Ellie. You're being so bigoted right now.
Right.
You're just not thinking about people's feelings, okay? Why are you trying to say it shouldn't be inclusive? Well, Ketanji Brown Jackson has an awfully sketchy history with some of her, with her relationship with fans of the playground. Not that she is one.
Yeah, I wonder who's handling this case, by the way. Who's handling this case?
I don't. Is it a federal case? I don't know if it's a federal
chat. Do you guys know what's going on? Yeah, who's handling this case, by the way? Oh, a random news. Did you guys know that the guy, what was his name, who just screwed everybody over with a bunch of money? He has the same lawyer as Ghislaine.
Oh yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried.
Did you know he hired Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney? How does that person sleep at night? On a very expensive mattress, made of money, with children.
Children.
Yeah. We're growing by 4 feet. I wonder what that means.
I know, right? I saw that, and I'm like, how is that not sus?
Mm.
How can someone look at that and be like, oh, yeah, that's not suspicious?
Is that a double entendre? Maybe? Maybe that's a double entendre.
Well, there have been a lot of things that seem like double entendres, and that's the same thing James Alefantis did.
An adoption shower. The adoption process is moving along faster than we expected. It's disgusting. I hate it. Burn them. Just.
Yeah.
Or leave them locked up in a room with no food or water. Till it's time to clean up.
Yeah. I'm beside myself about this. It still hasn't really processed with me completely yet. It's just a.
And I'm gonna upload this. Well, when I'm done streaming, we're not gonna go for too long on this one. I'm not gonna make it a very long stream. I wanted to get all the info out there. I want people to share it wherever they can. I just want people to know. I just want people to be aware. And I'm not afraid to say my opinion anymore. Because enough is enough, right? And I have personal experience with this. So if you feel like I'm being strong and opinionated about this, well, I mean, I've felt this on a very personal level.
The kids are in,
PB, thank you for the $10. Thank you for the dono. Thank you for supporting the stream. Thank you for supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's tough to talk about this stuff. Please subscribe if you're new here. Please like this video and share it with anybody. Everybody. Share it with everybody. It doesn't matter if they're LGBT or not. It doesn't matter. Just share it with everyone you can.
The kids, I think, are back in the foster system. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're back in the foster system.
State DA going after them. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I know this from experience, from all the stuff that's happened in the past. That if there's proof that some of it crossed state lines, then the feds will be involved.
Yeah.
If it crossed, and it looks like it did. And
it did.
That's the thing that yeah, I told you they've implicated like 13 people.
And they were all from different states. Oh, well, two were from Disney, right? That's Florida. Yeah. And that sucks too, man.
Look at this. Look at this. This is where they talked about getting a girl, adopting a girl.
Yeah, I know. I see. I want to personally thank you to everyone who was involved in our process. The boys truly changed our lives. It's terrible.
Yeah, this is something that if I'll go to my grave a bigot on this topic. If we get into a world where us talking about this is bigotry, I'll just put the flag. I'll just wear the flag, whatever the bigotry flag is. I'll wear it around on my head. I don't even care. I'll do it. I will not budge on this, no matter what.
We'll make our own.
Thank you,
flag.
Outlaw. Thanks, dude.
Outlaw, thank you for the 20. Thank you for the dono. Thank you guys. Thank you for supporting the stream. Really.
Thank you for giving us this article. I mean, it's a lot, but you've helped us realize that this is a message that needs to be spread. So thank you for that.
Maps belong on the wall. In this case, I hear prison have a lot of walls. Yeah, we'll see. The part 4 comes out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, everybody.
We'll be all over it.
Yeah, like they just know how to say all the right things. Like the world today, they just don't have discernment. People just do not have discernment. They just cannot tell they just can't tell who bad actors are. Because anyone who has hearts in their emails or smile emojis, that's all you need to do. And all you need to do is do the right hashtags and you're a good person. And my experience with the whole TERF thing and the Harry Potter thing, that is a perfect example of people framing me as a bad actor and letting these people slide.
Yep. Like I could just see somebody sending these messages to somebody and like just completely selling them. But the second you make any kind of statement that just is, I don't know, questioning, not even saying against, just questioning the narratives behind anything on the left, you're a bigot. But this right here, this perfect little placating garbage, oh, I have a huge heart, I could never, blah, 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 like, oh, my kids are, I take care of my kids.
To abuse a child is despicable, and our legal system is so effed up, he'd say. Yeah. Really? Just, project.
What did he say? Don't tell the FBI, please. I'm not a...
Oh, yeah. My ex literally said that to one of his victims. Don't tell the FBI, please.
I'm not a child of the... I'm not
a fan of the playground. No, not at all.
Don't tell the FBI. I'm not a fan of the playground. While he's talking to a 14-year-old girl, I'm not a fan of the playground. Right? They just project and they just push. It's like they all think the same.
They do.
They're all the same.
And look, he says here that he would have preferred to adopt a 2 or 3-year-old.
Oh my God.
Younger. The boys are 9 and 11. But they were searching for a toddler. Because guess what? That'll make them more money in the long run.
Yeah, they'll have a whole new demographic that they can target at that point. A whole new market.
Yep. These maps, these freaks, they have age preferences.
Yep. That you can literally go on these people's social medias where they say they're like proud maps and they're into age play and all this stuff, and they'll give their preferred years.
Yep. And now people are trying to normalize this trans age movement.
Yeah, the trans age movement. Like, what is it going to take? And then you got this DDLG philosophy, attitude thing. This stuff has to go. It's got to go. It is not okay. It's not okay.
Yep, and everyone is so narcissistic that they would rather virtue signal and try to be the good person on paper so they get more clout than actually stand up for something and actually get out of their own head and not be narcissistic and look at the big picture. That's where we're at. And they'd rather just gaslight and be jerks to people like me for talking about Harry Potter. They'd rather stay on Twitter. They'd rather stay mad on Twitter.
Oh yeah. This right here that you're posting. This is somebody whose husband is a police officer, and was saying that basically saying that the conversation with the Zulak was talking to this person, telling them how, we saved this child from a terrible home, and he was saying the police failed in this, and like the people who were abusing the kids before we got them only got 3 months in jail and didn't deserve. They only get to be kids for so long. And so then the person that he's talking to says, my husband's a police officer, invited you to go for a ride along so you can see what it's like for a good cop to do his job. And he says, well, I've had some issues with police in the past, but I really don't hate them that much. Literally what this guy says. Literally, like straight up.
Yep, gaslighting, virtue signaling. Reform the foster care adoption process. Reform, asking for reform. We must do better, they'd say. How many are tempted by these things? What about this? We can do better. Ones that will never get a forever home. All these kids. Let me make everyone feel so bad about all the kids in the foster care system so they will think that I'll be a great father.
Yeah, just build my track record to be even better. I'm an activist.
Yep, they're actors. They're not activists, they're actors. They fooled everyone with just Facebook posts. That's all it takes, you guys. Do you get it? Do you get it through your thick heads? All it takes is saying the right things on the internet. And you can be a monster in real life and get away with it.
By thick heads, we're not talking about you, chat. We're talking about whoever sees this later.
Yeah, share it with anyone who you think has a thick head.
Yeah, send it to anybody that is aligned in a way to where they might call this idea bigotry.
Yep. I'm going to post this on my Twitter. I'm going to post this on every social media I have. Please share this with everyone you know. DM your friends. DM your family. Everybody needs to see this. And, you know, if people, like, are trying to say, like, if you dare make the argument that I'm trying to get clout by this, I'll leave the link to the article down below. Share the article. It's not about me. It's about these kids. But I'm the one who's brave enough to talk about it.
This is a critique that Zulak had on of an evangelist, basically, where there's a Christian-run adoption organization, and he said that they would have rejected us from having children because we're gay, and that's taking our rights away. That so many LGBTQ people have been stopped from adopting. You know what this does, bro? This makes the LGBTQ movement look really freaking bad when you say that. Considering who you are, you just put a big shadow over the LGBTQ community.
Yep, they don't care. They don't care about you guys. You guys watching the stream right now who are LGBT, they don't care about you. They just used you in this paragraph right here. They used you. Okay? Do you get it? Does it make sense to you now? They know what they're doing is wrong, yes. But they don't care. They have no empathy. They have no empathy. They have no morals. They have no heart. They are empty, broken people who are the scum of the earth and will do anything and everything to live out their own perverted agenda. And they will use your agenda to prop themselves up.
Yeah, look, this pisses me off. 4 angry emojis.
All it takes. So yeah, part 2 comes out tomorrow, or part 4, sorry. So we're gonna end this here.
Yeah, I need to cool off. I didn't realize how I've already talked about this a lot. I didn't realize how heated I was gonna get going back through it again. I mean, this has made me the angriest I've been in a long time.
Me too. I'm livid. This is unbelievable. I cannot believe we are here. This is out of a nightmare. So,
yeah.
I guess we await the trial. And the only solace that we have are that the boys are in custody now, with the state. And these men were arrested, but now we wait for the trial. So stay tuned for that. I will keep covering this as much as I can.
Yeah, I feel like this is the best we can do.
This is all we can do.
It's you know, and it's a shame to think that just by talking about this, Ellie and myself or anybody at all risks losing a platform. Just because we're trying to talk about this very real problem.
But I'll risk it. It's worth it to me.
Yeah, we're gonna be on Rumble, and we also have a podcast that we're working on too. And once that gets a little more stable and put together, we'll move over to that, and we'll have you guys follow us there, and that I think will be a little safer there from this type of thing.
Yeah, I have a Rumble. Follow me on Twitter if you want.
Mia Cathell, I don't know who that is, but I'll look.
She's the one that I think she's the one that wrote this.
Oh, she's she's the author. That's
yeah.
Right. Yeah, she's
so
the author.
So
right.
Shout out to her. She's amazing.
Yeah,
Share this with everyone you know.
Yeah, follow her on any socials that she has too.
Yeah, I'll give her a follow as well.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chats.
Yeah, thanks,
and you'll be hearing from us very soon.
Yep. Take care, everybody.
Take care.